Okay, we're going to continue here with our audio soundbites. I'm going to skip Biden. I've had my fill of Biden, and we only have 6 or 7 bites of him here today. Geithner don't care. Yeah, this is good. Geithner. We're back to little Timmy, tax cheat, Treasury Secretary. He's on PBS The News Hour last night. The co-anchor Jeffrey Brown, we're up number 13. Interviewing Geithner, Brown says, here we are again this week. The debt limit question has bubbled up.
Believe it?
Can you believe it?
I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
You can't understand because why?
Because look at how much damage it caused the country last August. We have all these challenges to us as a country with political politicians threatening to default. If we don't adopt a partisan political agenda, it's deeply irresponsible.
So your little Timmy doesn't understand why the debt limit argument's back. Well, it's because we're approaching the debt limit, Timmy. The debt argument's back because we're approaching the limit. There was, when Clinton had this, Clinton was out, we had this story that when Clinton was calling for tax increases across the board, he also ripped into the Republicans for not compromising. And it was the day after that, Obama talking about the debt limit deal that's coming up. He said he was not going to accept any other alternatives but his. There was not going to listen to anything but his way on this. I mean, fully illustrating that compromise isn't really compromise. Compromise is Republicans caving. Here's little Timmy. Yeah, we have all the challenges to us as a country with political politicians. That's what he said. Political politicians threatening to default if we don't adopt a partisan political agenda. No, this stuff gets so tiring, folks. It really does. You've been to one debt limit deal party, you've been to all of them, and here we are back, and the same stuff, same exact history is going to be played out, same allegations. Obama wants more, spend every dime he can get, print, borrow, what have you. The Republicans hold all the cards here, but they don't know it, and they don't want to act like it. Now that it's an election year, the Republicans are going to be sensitive to charges that they will be comfortable with Social Security checks not being cut and Medicare checks not being made and all of this. It's the same old rigmarole. And it's just tiring. Isn't exceeding your debt limit irresponsible, little Timmy? Isn't that what's irresponsible here? It's not the Republicans who are irresponsible, except those who have no discipline on spending. Isn't what's really irresponsible this whole debt limit deal? What the hell is the limit for? It gets even better in the next bite. This egghead can't comprehend why Americans don't realize the economy's been growing for 2.5 years.
The economy is still gradually getting stronger. Most measures of the economy we can all look at and see every day suggest, again, gradual continued strengthening.
But are you sure about that? Because most people don't seem to see that.
You're still seeing a huge amount of damage left over from the crisis, and that had deep, lasting scars on the basic confidence of Americans. But everything we can see and feel in the economy supports this picture of gradual, continued strengthening. You know, the economy has been growing now for more than 2.5 years.
This little twerp is so literally out of it. Does listening to that give you any confidence? This is the Treasury Secretary mumbling through this. Still seeing a huge amount of damage. Everything we can see and feel, the economy supports this picture of gradual continued. No, I can show you chart after chart after chart where we're heading straight down. There is no gradual improvement. Marco Rubio was pulling his hair out when he heard about this, just like I am. He was on with Cavuto on the Fox News channel, and they were discussing this. This is what Marco Rubio said.
There's the crisis right there, is the fact that Geithner doesn't think there is one. I mean, the president's budget, who he works for, was just voted down yesterday 99-0. Not even the Democrats would vote for the president's budget. And the Senate Democrats haven't offered a budget in over 3.5 years. I mean, do people back home fully understand what I've just explained? The Democrats in Washington that control the Senate have not offered a budget in 3.5 years. That's outrageous. And I think for the Secretary of the Treasury to say that there is no crisis when this government will again this year spend over $1 trillion more than it takes in, I think that right there is the crisis.
Senator, the people back home get it. The people back home fully understand what's going on here, and they're fit to be tied over it. And every chance they have to tell you and to show you at the ballot box, they do. So Cavuto responded. He said, well, what Geithner was referring to was the threat from Boehner that when we come to the debt ceiling issue later this summer, that there isn't a corresponding amount of spending cuts to go along with however much you raise the debt ceiling. He's not going to go for it. So here then again, another debt crisis, and it's the same thing. Republicans want cuts. Obama's not going to go for any cuts, and we're back to the same place. So what does that mean?
We are having a debt ceiling crisis on a daily basis, and here's why. Because this government every year is spending $1.5 trillion more than it takes in.
Yeah.
When is the United States federal government and when is this president going to begin to seriously address the fact that this is a government that spends $1.5 trillion a year more than it takes in? That has to be dealt with. That is not going to solve itself. It's not going to go away on its own. And every year that goes by that it remains unresolved, the harder it becomes to solve. So I think that's what the speaker's trying to say is where's the sense of urgency?
He's not. Obama doesn't care. This is like, who did I read? Some journalist. Might have been, was it Harwood? I don't remember. Some journalist. Might have been Howard Fine. I don't remember who it was talking about Obama has really got to come up with a plan for fiscal responsibility. I mean, that's his, what? How in the world can anybody watching what's going on think he cares about fiscal responsibility? That's not what he's doing. That's not what he's oriented toward. Fiscal responsibility is just the other way around. There is a transformation of this country taking place. There is an expansion of government taking place on purpose. The private sector, the capitalistic free market, the place where 99% of people in this country, well, not that much anymore, sadly, work and live, where the opportunity is in this country, where the economic opportunity exists in this country, is shrinking by design and on purpose. Fiscal responsibility, there is no pretense of that. There was some journalist wringing his hands over the fact that Obama hasn't yet proposed anything on entitlement reform. Well, he's never going to. He doesn't. Entitlement reform? What the heck do you people think Obamacare is? It's a brand new one. There's no reform of entitlements proposed on the Democrat side. I got